This is CBN NewsWatch.
Thanks for joining us for CBN NewsWatch for Tuesday, December 10th. I'm Mark Martin. Today, moving to impeach. The Democrats unveiling their articles of impeachment against the president one day after a contentious hearing in Congress. A look at how the workers at one medical clinic in Texas help pregnant women choose life for their unborn babies. How a former archbishop in Britain is trying to force the U.S. and British governments to help Christian refugees get out of the Middle East. And paging Dr. Dog will show you how these wonderful canines can sniff out diseases and help manage medical conditions. Those stories and more today on Newswatch. We begin with the Democrats set to unveil 2 articles of impeachment against the president this morning. Sources tell the Associated Press they will include abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. The move comes after a deeply contentious impeachment hearing in the House Judiciary Committee Monday and a new report from the Justice Department Inspector General on the origins of the Russia investigation. Heather Sells has our report.
House Democratic leaders are moving quickly to finish their side of the impeachment process so the full House can vote on impeaching the president, after which the issue moves on to the Senate. The Democrats' contention that President Trump put U.S. elections and national security at risk when he asked Ukraine to investigate his rivals, including Joe Biden.
President Trump's actions are impeachable offenses.
On Monday, the House Judiciary Committee heard testimony from both Democratic and Republican lawyers involved in the House intelligence hearings. Republicans are still unified in defending the president and say Democrats have failed to give the minority a hearing day and follow proper procedure.
In the next 4 hours, you're going to try to overturn the result of an election with unelected people giving testimony.
Over the weekend, the president defended himself on Twitter with more than 100 tweets. He told the press he's watched some of the impeachment hearings.
I did. I watched a little bit, very little. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace to our country.
Monday's hearings took place on the same day as the long-awaited Justice Department Inspector General's report on the origins of Robert Mueller's Russia investigation was released. The IG report criticizes the FBI for inaccurate information on the so-called surveillance or FISA warrant applications on Trump campaign associates. The Inspector General stopped short of saying Robert Mueller's Russia investigation never should have happened, but his boss disagreed. In a statement, Attorney General Bill Barr said, "The FBI launched an intrusive investigation of a U.S. presidential campaign on the thinnest of suspicions that, in my view, were insufficient to justify the steps taken. It is also clear that, from its inception, the evidence produced by the investigation was consistently exculpatory." The FBI filed so-called FISA warrants to electronically monitor Trump campaign aide Carter Page. The warrants were renewed 3 times, but the report says the FBI fell far short of keeping its facts in order for those renewals. The report says officials learned new information between the time the applications for warrant renewals were submitted, such as the fact that the Democratic National Committee and Hillary Clinton's campaign helped fund the infamous Steele dossier, which was chiefly used to obtain the warrants. But that new information wasn't included in subsequent FISA application filings.
This is a sad day. This is a dangerous set of circumstances, but there are better days ahead. Mr. Horowitz has identified the problem. Is it up to us to fix it?
The investigations are still not over. There is another one being conducted by U.S. Attorney John Durham. He said Monday he disagreed with some of the Inspector General's conclusions. The Durham investigation could result in criminal charges. Heather Sells, CBN News.
Turning overseas now, 6 people have been confirmed dead after Monday's powerful volcanic eruption on an island in New Zealand, shooting ash 12,000 feet high. Survivors say they ran into the sea to escape the scalding steam and ash and came out covered in burns. 5 died at the time of the blast or soon after, and a 6th died in a hospital today. Another 8 people are believed dead, with their bodies still on the ash-covered island. 9 Americans were on the island. Experts say there was a 50% chance of another small eruption within a day, and rescue teams did not want to take any chances. Here at home, the Supreme Court has left in place a Kentucky law requiring doctors to perform ultrasounds and show the images of the unborn babies to patients before abortions. The justices did not comment after refusing to review an appeals court ruling that upheld the law. The American Civil Liberties Union had challenged the law on behalf of the only remaining abortion clinic in Kentucky. The law was passed in 2017. Coming up, while many state legislatures have passed laws on abortion, hoping they'll get to the Supreme Court in order to overturn the decision which legalized abortion nationwide, we'll show you how one clinic in Texas is taking a different approach when we come back.
I am Region's first ROTC graduate student.
Meet the pastors who are preaching the gospel in a fresh, fearless way. I'm Roberto Torres-Cedillo. Join me each week for Next Gen Voices. And watch God transform a generation.
How'd you like to get a redo on your health, on your body, on your arteries, so you could have the energy you had 20 years ago? The great news is you can. I'm Dr. Mike Roizen, chair of the Wellness Institute at the Cleveland Clinic. I've written 4 New York Times bestsellers. But even better than having to read all that, you can listen to this DVD and watch it. Protect your heart? Yes, you can. Here's how.
Go to CBN.com or call 1-800-700-7000 for your free copy of Protect Your Heart. Let the medical experts show you their new discoveries on how to avoid heart disease and even reverse it. Easy steps to uncover the hidden dangers in your medicine cabinet, reduce stress, and get a complete do-over for your health. Call 1-800-700-7000. That's 1-800-700-7000. Or go to CBN.com to claim your free copy of Protect Your Heart.
Welcome back to Newswatch. Many pro-life groups are hoping to take their state battles over abortion all the way to the Supreme Court, hoping to see Roe v. Wade overturned. But as CBN's Jennifer Wishon reports, a clinic in Texas, the state where Roe originated, is taking a different approach as they work for the chance to save lives.
9:30 in San Antonio, and it's already hot.
In order to appreciate the power of Christ,
These women are getting ready for their day.
Romans 3:23, for all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. Our sin caused a rift between us and him. So great is the holiness of our God.
They worship and praise.
We finished abortion recovery with Angela, and she's healed.
Preparing them for a calendar full of chances to save lives.
Well, let's get after it.
They give the day to God.
We pray, oh God, that she will keep her divine appointment at 1, that she would see that this is a child and not a product of conception, and that she will give this child life. Father, we pray for life for this child. Amen. Amen.
It's a daily ritual here at Life Choices Medical Clinic, a place where these professionals never know what needs they'll be asked to meet.
Sometimes it's practical, sometimes it's spiritual, sometimes it's emotional.
It's kind of diaper central. It was intended to be our education room.
When Charity Farrar started at the clinic nearly 10 years ago, she says it was great at handing out diapers.
From the front door, they come up this hall, and this is the staging area.
But when they started offering medical services to women and eventually men, their influence multiplied.
This room here is our ultrasound room. I love this room. It's my favorite room probably in the whole building. God does amazing things in this room.
Here at Life Choices Medical Clinic, women can get a pregnancy test, get a free ultrasound to see pictures of their baby, get prenatal care and counseling, all within a few steps down this hallway.
Our goal really as the clinic is to make sure that they know they're fully supported throughout their pregnancy.
That's sometimes a big help if they're choosing between life and termination. Knowing that they have that continuity of care gives them a secure feeling.
They even offer testing and treatment for sexually transmitted diseases.
If they're here for STI testing and treatment, then we talk to them about that. And what are their risks and the exposure that they have, and what can we do to prevent that? And, oh, by the way, what does God say about all of this?
Ellen Leone has honed her skill of discernment. This afternoon, she gets the chance to show that abortion-minded mom pictures of her baby.
It's really just letting God take over in the moment, too, because, you know, He's active in the room, and just seeing the Holy Spirit move their hearts is just it's a blessing to see.
This clinic and hundreds of others across the country are proving critics wrong, who say pro-life activists stop caring about women after they choose life for their babies. Life Choices supports some moms until their children reach kindergarten. And last year, the clinic witnessed nearly 120.
Oh, these are brown and blue.
Professions of faith.
We love it when our patients ask us if they can have a Bible. Our #1 mission is to be the hands and feet of Jesus Christ. Everything else is secondary to presenting the gospel. My personal philosophy is that if we save the mother eternally, we save that baby because the mom has a change of heart.
It's wonderful being in that we have the freedom to share our faith. It's not by any means coercive or anything that we do there, but where we can live like human to human and really connect with patients.
And now Farrar wants to take this hopeful model across Texas. Working with 4 other organizations, Life Choices aims to serve 100,000 women and save 10,000 babies in just 5 years.
Abortion started in Texas. We want to end it in Texas. Abortion is an atrocity. Abortion is not health care. It's not health care for the mother and certainly not health care for the child. But life, Jesus came that we might have life and have life abundantly. That starts now.
So what about that abortion-minded mom Farrar and her staff prayed for? After her appointment, she decided to keep her baby. Folks at this clinic have learned the more contact they have with a woman, the more likely she is to keep her baby, and the better equipped she is for motherhood. Jennifer Wishon, CBN News, San Antonio.
Wonderful story there. Well, still ahead, why are thousands of Muslim refugees allowed to come from the Middle East to Western countries while only a tiny number of Christians are getting out? We'll look at that question and see what one former British archbishop is doing about it right after this. Stay with us.
Come home to the sounds of Southern Gospel from CBN Radio. You'll enjoy a rich Southern blend of bluegrass, classic gospel, and Southern gospel favorites like the Gaithers, the Crab Family, and bluegrass sounds like Mountain Faith. So make yourself at home with the all-new CBN Southern Gospel, now available at cbnradio.com.
Meet the pastors who are preaching the gospel in a fresh, fearless way. I'm Roberto Torresadillo. Join me each week for Next Gen Voices. And watch God transform a generation.
Prophecy thousands of years old.
We were called to be a light to the world.
Being fulfilled today. Discover how. Get to life. Call 1-800-700-7000.
We consider it our duty to reach out and help others around the world.
For a gift of $10 or more, you can own the acclaimed CBN documentary To Life. Just call 1-800-700-7000 or log on to cbn.com.
To treat a human, no matter what he is, which religious he have, which color he is. This is what I'm doing.
See how the people of Israel are fulfilling prophecy
History is being written, and I want to be a part of it.
by sharing their knowledge
In Africa, in Asia, in South America, in East Europe.
and their love.
This is how we work. This is us.
Get to life. Call 1-800-700-7000 or log on to CBN.com.
It looks like a clear case of the UN's bias against Christian refugees in the Middle East. Why are thousands of Muslims sent to Western nations while only a trickle of Christians are getting out? One former archbishop is going to court to force the American and British governments to help. Dale Hurd brings us that story from London.
A UN refugee camp in Jordan. Christian Syrian refugees tell us they have been blocked by Muslim UN officials from living in these camps or getting any help whatsoever. One of them, Hassan, a Syrian convert to Christianity, told us in a phone call, Muslim UN camp officials knew that we were Muslims who became Christians, and they dealt with us with persecution and mockery. They didn't let us into the office. They ignored our request. Hassan and his family are now in hiding, afraid that they will be arrested by Jordanian police or even killed. There is clear evidence of discrimination by the United Nations Refugee Agency in Jordan against Christians. And it's part of the reason that while tens of thousands of Syrian Muslim war refugees have been settled in the United States and Britain, less than 1% have been Christian. And the two governments that could stop this persecution of Christian refugees, the U.S. and Britain, have done little to nothing about it. Christian refugees in the Middle East have been persecuted, ignored, and finally forgotten by Western governments. But a former Archbishop of Canterbury is saying enough. Lord George Carey has announced he's suing Britain's Home Office, alleging that politically correct officials have been institutionally biased against Christian refugees. He also wants to find out why out of the 60,000 Syrian war refugees accepted into the United States and Britain in 2014, almost none were Christian. Lord Carey's attorney, Paul Diamond, explains the case.
And so you have this absurd situation that a scheme is set up to help Syrian refugees, and the people most in need, Christians who have been genocided, they can't even get into the UN camps to get the food. The Muslim UN guards will block you getting in. They'll laugh at you and mock you and threaten you.
Another Syrian refugee, Timothy, who told us he became a Christian after seeing Jesus in a dream, said he was also blocked from entering a refugee camp by Muslim UN officials.
All of the United Nations, almost of them, 99%, they are Muslim. And they were treating us as enemies.
Sunni Muslim officials have blocked the way, laughed at these people, threatened them, said you shouldn't have converted, you're an idiot for converting, you get what you get, words to that effect.
Lord Carey says by doing nothing, Western governments are complicit in what he calls the steady crucifixion of Middle East Christians.
No simple measures are taken by both the British and the American government. It'd be simple just to open up a refugee camp for religious minorities, for Christians, Yazidis, whatever they are, and they'd be safe, but no one does that.
Christian refugees who have managed to make it to Western countries are increasingly being deported back to Muslim nations where they face grave danger. Swedish attorney Gabriel Donner, who represents Christian asylum seekers, says Sweden is now deporting up to 1/3 of Christian refugees back to Muslim nations, where they're likely to be imprisoned or killed. One of those Christian refugees now facing imminent deportation is Iman Amir Arang from Iran, shown here with members of his church in a foot washing. He says Swedish officials either did not understand or care about the evidence of his Christian faith.
So many atheists living in Sweden or are from Sweden, so they can't believe in somebody that believes in God. Just because they don't believe in our Lord, they don't trust anybody else to believe in the Lord either.
They don't understand the message in the Bible. It's just completely alien to them.
President Trump told CBN News in 2017 that Christian refugees would be given a priority, but Muslim governments officially classify Christians as security threats, causing their asylum applications to Western nations to be rejected. The UN's refugee agency did not respond to our request for answers. Lord Carey has publicly appealed for financial help in his suit against the British Home Office, which has already threatened the 84-year-old churchman with all court costs if he loses. Meanwhile, the Home Office is spending a lot of time and money on the resettlement of ISIS children. Dale Hurd, CBN News, London.
Coming up, switching gears, we're going to introduce you to a very unusual type of doctor. Lori Johnson shows us some amazing dogs who are taking it to the next level by helping people living with some serious medical problems. We'll tell you about Dr. Dogs when we come back.
When I came to Regent University, it's like the world opened up. I felt like I needed to advance my career and go back to school. Regent was a perfect fit for me. The Regent professors are world class. You are equipped. The focus of the faculty is on each individual student, whether it's online or in person. You become a part of Regent's family. You carry with you not just the content and the knowledge, but the confidence to understand that we can be significant in the world.
Regent University. Follow your path.
Nigerian Christians
in Iran are routinely arrested.
Happily, Christians continue to suffer.
In times of trial and affliction, you need to know the truth.
One of the fastest growing Christian populations in the world.
Join Wendy Griffith and George Thomas for Christian World News.
Young people are the ones who are open to the gospel.
Powerful stories of suffering and hope that affect all Christians. Watch Christian World News, Saturday at 5 p.m.
Get Protect Your Sleep and discover how to improve the quality of your life. A free DVD or booklet from the Christian Broadcasting Network.
If you're not a great sleeper, you can do things to make yourself a great sleeper. If you're already a pretty good sleeper, you can enhance your sleep and be even better.
5 leading experts help remove the obstacles between you and restorative sleep.
When you don't get a restful night's sleep, you wake up with an accumulation of stress.
Call 1-800-700-7000 or go to CBN.com to get your free DVD or booklet today.
Everything you do better with a good night's sleep.
You'll discover how food affects your sleep, how to put insomnia to rest, explore effective remedies for sleep apnea, and much more in Protect Your Sleep. Wake up to your best life and get Protect Your Sleep today. Call 1-800-700-7000 or go to CBN.com to get your free DVD or booklet.
Get the top political news and analysis from Washington on Faith Nation, tonight at 6 Eastern, only on the CBN News Channel.
Thanks for staying with us. They're called Dr. Dogs, and they're sniffing out diseases, tracking down deadly superbugs, and helping people manage serious medical conditions. Lori Johnson shows us how these amazing animals are helping victims reclaim their lives.
23-year-old Danielle Brooks can now live on her own, attend grad school, and even travel internationally, all thanks to her service dog, Rollo. He helps Danielle manage sleep disorders, including cataplexy, which can cause her to suddenly collapse.
After laughing with friends in the driveway, I got a concussion, and that was kind of the final straw for me of accepting that I needed more help than just medication.
Rollo tunes into Danielle so closely he can actually sense an impending episode.
So he'll tell me before that, or tell me that my heart rate's getting too high, so I need to rest and take a break and sit down.
Before Rollo came on board, Danielle feared how narcolepsy, which suddenly causes her to fall asleep, prevented her from living independently.
Oh, what if I fall asleep on the bus and miss my stop?
Now Rollo can wake Danielle up when she just nods off and if she sleeps through her alarm. He also picks things up for her and even opens the door, which helps save energy throughout the day.
He also can unload and load things into the washing machine if I really want to take a lot of time, but he hasn't figured out how to fold the clothes yet.
Dogs perform important work in the world of medicine, and the number of jobs they do continues to grow. Turns out certain canines can handle just about anything. Nobody knows that better than Maria Goodavage. As a researcher, she documents cutting-edge examples in her book, Dr. Dogs, How Our Best Friends Are Becoming Our Best Medicine.
Well, I love seeing the dog-human bond, but when dogs save lives, there's just nothing like it.
Whitley here can warn Clay 20 minutes before his devices indicate low blood sugar that could possibly put Clay into a diabetic coma. When anxiety overcomes Kit, her dog Angus can calm her down and prevent an overwhelming situation. Hank helps Molly manage schizoaffective disorder by helping her determine whether the people she sees and hears are actually there.
That just by him being a dog, a friendly dog who greets everybody, anybody, then he can help her separate reality from these horrible hallucinations just because Hank isn't saying hi.
Dr. Dogs are trained using positive reinforcements. They're motivated to learn with toys, treats, and praise. These techniques allow dogs to learn brand new ways of communicating with humans, such as activating their talking vests.
My owner needs your attention. Yes. Please follow me.
And 911 touchscreen technology.
Sky, go get help. Excellent.
And I think it's just going to lead to a whole new world, a whole new future for us.
Believe it or not, dogs can actually smell sickness, like Sugar here, who's going around the wheel sniffing out the T-shirt worn by a person with Parkinson's disease. This dog scours a hospital, locating the presence of deadly superbugs, such as C. diff, which no human or machine can readily detect. And in a Japanese community with a high rate of stomach cancer, Dr. Dogs are being used to detect it before it's too late.
Their sense of smell is so much more sensitive than ours. We have about 6 million olfactory receptors. Dogs have 300 million. They can smell in parts per trillion, which is like a tablespoon of a substance in the equivalent of 2 Olympic-sized swimming pools.
After seeing these examples, you may think you could benefit from your own Dr. Dog.
There are a lot of great organizations out there, and they produce really good dogs. There are some organizations out there that are really well-meaning. They might produce good dogs, they may not, they try. And then there have been some that are just out there to make a buck.
So for people who could use some help managing a medical condition, doing a bit of homework can help find the perfect companion. Lori Johnson, CBN News.
Fascinating story. To hear more about the amazing ways dogs are helping people with medical issues, Maria, Danielle, and even Rollo join Lori on this week's Healthy Living Show. It's tonight at 9:30 Eastern, only on the CBN News Channel. That's going to do it for this edition of CBN Newswatch. Remember, you can find more of our news programs on the CBN News Channel anytime or online with cbnnews.com. Also, tell us what you think about the stories you've seen by emailing newswatch@cbn.com, or you can talk to us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hope you'll join us next time. Have a great day.